Second chapter for today is Spread of Christianity. Subheadings for this topic are Emperor Constantine, Medieval Europe, Monasteries and their impact. Christianity was a major development during the medieval period. It was a religious faith based on the life and teachings of Jesus Christ. The Bible is a holy book of Christians. It has two parts, the Old Testament and the New Testament. After Jesus died, his teachings were spread by his followers, notably St. John and St. Paul. It was St. Paul who played an active role in spreading Christianity in the Roman Empire. He was first to encourage non-Jews to become Christians. The spread of Christianity in the Roman Empire invited the wrath of rulers. Some emperors such as Nero and Diocletian saw Christians as rebels because they refused to worship Roman gods. Thousands were arrested and tortured. Many were killed. Emperor Constantine. The persecution of the Christians ended in around 4th century CE when Emperor Constantine became the first Roman ruler to embrace Christianity. He took several steps to help spread Christianity. He granted Christians the freedom to worship. He gave important jobs to Christians. He declared Sunday a public holiday so that people could attend church. He also built many churches. Shift of capital. In 330 CE, Emperor Constantine shifted the capital from Rome to the ancient city of Byzantium. This was because he believed that Roman Empire had become too big to be administered efficiently. The new capital was named Constantinople, that was modern-day Istanbul. It became a major commercial center. Constantinople would later become the capital of Eastern Roman Empire, which would be known as Byzantine Empire. In 391 CE, one of the Constantine's successors, Emperor Theodosius, made Christianity the official religion of the Roman Empire. Medieval Europe. The medieval period in Europe witnessed a number of events such as the decline of the ancient Roman Empire, the rise of feudalism, the rise of church as the most important institution, the rise of Islam, the Crusades, and so on. Let's see the decline of ancient Roman Empire. Around 200 CE, the Roman Empire began to decline. There were many causes for the decline of the empire, such as corrupt rulers, frequent outbreak of civil wars, infighting among soldiers, and so on. However, the chief cause for the decline was attack by Germanic tribes such as Visigoths, Ostrogoths, Vandals, and Franks. Romans called them barbarians. They plundered the treasure, killed and enslaved many Romans, and destroyed many buildings. Final blow came in 476 CE when a barbarian chief called Odoacer made himself the king of Italy and forced the last emperor of Rome to give up his crown. Many historians consider this to be the end of Roman Empire. By around 500 CE, the barbarians had carved out their own independent kingdoms and settled down. The largest barbarian kingdom was created by the Franks. Impact of the barbarian invasions. The barbarian invasions left Rome a city of ruins. The invasions weakened the authority of the Roman rulers because they failed to challenge the invaders. Trade declined due to violent political conditions. Most important impact of these invasions was the rise and spread of feudalism, which lasted in various forms across Europe for hundreds of years. Let's see the rise of feudalism. After the fall of Roman Empire in 5th century, There were very few kings in Europe who could afford to maintain a standing army. So the kings granted portions of lands to nobles, and in return the nobles promised loyalty and protection. That is, they raise an army of knights and fight for the kings. The kings became the lords and nobles became their vassals. The nobles gave land to the knights in return for fighting battles. The nobles thus became lords to the knights. Peasants farmed on the land of knights and nobles in turn returned for protection against enemy attacks. The serfs occupied the lowest rank among the peasants. Unlike peasants, serfs were bonded laborers and led miserable lives. This system of granting land on condition of service was called feudalism. The Byzantine Empire. In about 395 CE, the Roman Empire was split into two, the Western Roman Empire and the Eastern Roman Empire. Western Roman Empire declined in the face of repeated barbarian invasions. The Eastern Roman Empire, known as Byzantine, survived for another 1,000 years. Its capital was Constantinople. The Byzantine Empire enjoyed a strategic location which enabled rulers to exploit the trade routes between Asia and Europe. Under able rulers such as Justinian I, the Byzantine Empire became one of the wealthiest in the world. Justinian I not only introduced a new system of laws, he also built many churches, including the famous Hagia Sophia. Emergence of the Turks. The death of Justinian I exposed the Byzantine Empire to attacks from Goths, Huns, Vikings, Arabs, and Normans. By 1453, the Byzantine Empire was nothing more than an empire in decline, surrounded by a few smaller villages. It was in such a weakened state that empire was attacked by Ottoman Turks. They captured Constantinople in 1453, and the Byzantine Empire came to an end. The Ottomans made Constantinople their capital. The Crusades. In the 11th century, the Turks captured Jerusalem. They threatened the Christian visitors and later banned them from entering Jerusalem. Moreover, the victory of Turks over the Byzantine Empire led many Christians to believe that their religion was under threat. It was against this background that in 1095 CE, Pope Urban II urged Christians to go on a holy war or a crusade and recapture Jerusalem, as it was a part of a holy land, from the Turks. Thus, between 1096 CE and 1291 CE, 8 crusades were fought. However, the crusaders were unable to recapture Jerusalem. Let's see the impact of the Crusades. The Crusades left a lasting impact on Europe. The Crusades increased the Pope authority among Christians. People looked upon the Pope as their guide and leader. The Crusaders were exposed to the cultural and scientific progress of Greeks and Turks. This laid the foundation for revival of interest in classical knowledge. The Crusaders learned about the magnetic compass and gunpowder from the Turks. Use of gunpowder greatly undermined the role of knights and contributed to the decline of feudalism. The Crusades paved the way for increased trade contacts between Asia and Europe. As demand for luxury goods such as silk, spices, and carpets increased in Europe, traders explored the markets of the East. New towns such as Venice, Pisa, and Genoa became the commercial centers of Europe. Thus, an increased interest in learning, travel, and spread of new ideas paved the way for Renaissance in Europe. Monasteries and their impact. As Christianity spread in Europe, many monasteries were built. These became the residence of monks. Like men, many women also devoted their lives to God and were called nuns. They lived in nunneries, also called as convents. The monks and nuns led simple lives, did not marry, did not hold any worldly positions, offered prayers to God, and served people. Each day was divided into special times for prayer, study, and work. Some famous Christian monks were Saint Francis, Saint Benedict, and Saint Augustine. They stressed purity, resistance to material temptation, pursuit of goodness, and self sacrifice. The monasteries played a very important role in medieval Europe. Monasteries were centers from which Christianity spread to other regions. Monks traveled far and wide to spread the message of Jesus Christ. Gradually, many people accepted Christianity. Monasteries were centers of learning. Monks studied Latin and hand-copied books. These were called manuscripts. They then decorated the manuscripts with pictures and patterns. Monasteries in the medieval period thus served as centers of religious as well as secular learning. Monasteries served people. They were guided by the motto service to the society. The monks grew herbs in the monastery gardens and used them to treat people who were sick. Their zeal to serve people by tending the sick and giving food and shelter to tired travelers was widely appreciated. This helped to spread Christianity further.